Hey there, so in this video, I would like to talk about the price action or the price of Bitcoin and what's just been happening over the past couple of weeks, or just, I guess, specifically for Bitcoin and crypto, it's the past week, but for all other markets, it's the past few weeks. So we all know that right now, today is March 14th, that for the past few days, crypto has been just on a plunge down. So Bitcoin dropped like 50%, even more, maybe even more if depending on how you look at it. But all alts are down, everything is down, and I just want to uh, talk about that and just kind of briefly show or briefly highlight that this might be one of the reasons for that that huge price drop. And for myself, I'm not as knowledgeable as this person here. I mean, for myself, I tend to read the news and just look at what smart people are saying. And so this person here, Anthony Pompliano, now this guy's just like a Bitcoin OG. This guy's been in the Bitcoin space for a long time, and he knows his stuff on economics. He knows his stuff on uh, monetary policy. And if you understand the purpose of Bitcoin, the purpose of it is, I guess, in some sense, it's you could call it a digital gold, even though it wasn't created for that specific purpose. It was created more so because it was a digital cash. But I guess over time, because of how expensive it can be to send a transaction, that it may not be feasible. So it's, I guess, in some form, a digital uh, gold. And gold, if you may or may not know, it's a store of value, or that's what people see it as. It's supposed to be a store of value. Now, Pompliano, or Pompliano, put out this article here that I think everyone should check out, right? So, I mean, even though today's the 14th, he published this a couple of days ago. And in this article here, he addresses the liquidity. He talks about something called the liquidity crisis, right? And it's just talking about how it's driving all prices down for all markets. Doesn't matter if it's stocks, bonds, gold, crypto, so everything is just going down. And I've read the article a few times, and I just want to highlight the most important parts here. And if we go down here, it just talks about something called a liquidity crisis. Now, a liquidity crisis is basically when everyone is, just as it says here, it's when all investors rush to the exit doors at the same time, but there are many more sellers than buyers, that investors actually have a hard time offloading their assets for cash. So basically, everyone needs cash right now. So, I mean, think about it. You can't pay your groceries in stocks. You can't pay your bill in crypto. I mean, maybe some people are willing to do that, but more or less because of how fiat works, we need cash to pay for things. And because everyone needs cash at the moment, they are uh, cashing out hard just to stockpile and have that ready at their disposal. So that's why he suspects that everything is just going down the drain. I mean, price wise. And that makes sense because if you think about like what's happening with, I mean, he talks about COVID-19 and how the COVID-19's it's officially a pandemic. It's declared a pandemic by the WHO because everyone's in a state of uncertainty, or FUD, as some people would say, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. People are just fearful of what's about to happen, so everyone is just trying to stockpile that cash because they need it to pay for food, their rent, so on and so forth. They don't know what's happening, and so that's why everyone is just selling. And it doesn't matter what price it's at, they're just trying to get as much as they can, uh, as quick as possible. So it's just like a fire sale right now. Now, he then talks about how Bitcoin and gold are, uh, I guess, in some sense, a store of value. But here, just as even though Bitcoin and gold are uh, uh, store of values, they are non-correlated and serve as a safe haven asset. So, but even these assets during a liquidity crisis, they'll be sold into a liquid market for cash, right? And basically, it's just causing a lot of people to become irrational, and they're just optimizing for liquidity, right? So then he then talks about how even in the 2008 global financial crisis, gold dropped by 30%. So that's still pretty big. I mean, uh, even though gold is a quote unquote safe haven asset or a store of value, even then it dropped by 30%, and that's because again, there's the liquid. They, it's the need for cash, right? So he's saying that even though it went down for 6 months, it went back up because even though uh, even though it went back down, um, they feared that the U.S. would default on debt, right? And again, this kind of ties into monetary policy about just how money works, right? And so that's what he's saying. That's what he suspects will happen with Bitcoin. So because Bitcoin is that digital gold, he suspects that, yeah, sure, in the short term, that price might have taken a nosedive, but in the long term, because he believes in what Bitcoin's all about, that he thinks that the price will go back up. Now, I'm not here to tell you what you should think about Bitcoin, whether or not you think it's a digital gold or it should be a digital gold or it's just a speculative asset. I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I'm just highlighting what Pompliano talks about. Now he's, like I said before, he's a Bitcoin OG, and he's someone who I follow and someone who I respect, and I would take his word for it, right? So now, if you are interested, I mean, there's there's a lot more to this article here, right? But I don't want to waste your time with the other parts. But I would definitely have a read throughout, read of this article. And if you don't like reading, you can always just listen to this, I guess, mini podcast. And it's just pretty much it's a summary of like just this stuff right here. Basically, if you're in it for the long term, you don't really need to be fearful of it. In fact, right now should be a good time for you to buy, assuming you have uh, extra capital at your disposal. But yeah, anyways, I thought I'd share this article with you, just because maybe you don't know who Pompliano is and you're looking for an answer on why crypto took a nosedive, or the price, anyways. But yeah, anyways, I hope you found this. I hope you found this video informative or educational, or maybe even put your mind a little bit at ease. But yeah, if it did any of those, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in receiving notifications of my future videos, then hit that subscribe button down below. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.